Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a breakfast with Blaha. And today I'm having steamed Asian vegetables and chicken breast. All right, let's talk about scam supplements. Now, there are a lot of scam supplements out there. There's ones that I have discussed recently, and people get pretty upset. Some of these are controversial. When I mention them, people get angry at me. They defend them like they will defend this stuff with their life. You know, some of those have been like pre-workouts, testosterone, and I've gone into some nuance as to why those are particularly pre-workouts, but I don't think that those are the biggest scams, right? I don't think they're the biggest scams. There could be, in some cases, even some minor merit to some pre-workout supplements. It's just that overall, as a whole, it's a scam. But when we have some other ones, two of the biggest supplements that have been the biggest scams because they are 100% useless and they have been enormous in my time on YouTube. This is not my first channel, so when people look at the year on it, this is actually my second channel. My original channel had like 40,000 subscribers when I closed it and opened this one. So I've been on here longer than people realize. I'm kind of a YouTube fitness OG. But since I've been on here, the two biggest scams have been branched chain amino acids and test boosters, right? And the funny thing is, like, to this day, people will swear by them. They'll swear by them. The funny thing is that the test boosters, no one even debates. All the evidence-based, and I actually prefer the term evidence-informed, Fit pros have always said that test boosters don't work. Like, everyone has universally agreed, but a lot of them pushed the branched chain amino acids and made a lot of money on it early on, and now they all admit they're a scam. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. But the test boosters, everyone knows they're a scam, other than con artists and kids who don't know any better. Why? First of all, they don't work. They don't work usually. Number two, if they do work, guess what? It's not enough of a difference to affect your gains. It may not even be enough of a difference to cause anything more than a psychosomatic response. In other words, people have these ideas that, oh man, if I boost my testosterone levels, if it's down at this level and I boost it 20%, I'm going to gain like 3 pounds of muscle and my sex drive is going to double, right? That's not how it works. That is not what the evidence shows. That's not how the human body works. And, you know, here's the thing. You guys wouldn't even care about testosterone if people didn't pin it. In other words, if people didn't already use exogenous amounts, no one would care. And on top of that, all these guys who run around saying, I'm on TRT, they're not even on TRT. I know plenty of these guys. We talk to these different people. And when the guys are talking and other influencers are talking and people discuss this stuff, their idea of TRT may not be what you guys are thinking. You're like, okay, well, maybe they're going a little above. They're not even doing 200 or 300 milligrams, which is not TRT. They're doing a gram or more. It's pretty normal. Your average I'm on TRT or your average I'm all natural YouTuber or Instagram guy uses 1 to 2 grams a year a week. That's average. Okay? Whether you accept that or not, it's your own business. I'm just telling you the truth. 1 to 2 grams. 1,000 to 2,000. That's your normal for the natties. And quote unquote TRT, bro. Not 200. Not 300. They might drop down to 300 to 500 during cruises. So they're not increasing their testosterone 20%. What's a gram of test compared to a replacement dose? About 8-fold? Okay. About 8-fold. And I don't want to get into the math on this. People will argue this math who haven't studied it. They throw their own math in when they've never looked at blood work. So they don't know what they're talking about. I'm not going to get into that. It's about 8-fold. So what is that? It's not a 20% increase, it's a 700% increase. And that's where you see all of these gains coming from. Okay? Not a little blow up, it's a Yeah, they gain 10, 20 pounds of muscle from it over the course of time. But that's the testosterone they're at. Okay? The boosters don't work. It's not enough to matter. And the funny thing is, like, the studies never even show them to work consistently other than little transient fluctuations. Like, remember when Lobliner did his Insurgent and I tore it apart? Because what was the evidence that he used? Well, I have this guy and I put him on it and his testosterone went from here to here, went up this much percent. Do you want to know what was funny? His case study that he was using to sell the product, and he's a big YouTuber, was a guy who had clinically low testosterone who, after using his product and improving his lifestyle and working out and diet, still had almost low testosterone. So even after taking the test booster, his levels were below average. They were still below average. They weren't good. They were not quite at a healthy level. Like almost, they were almost low enough to still qualify for a prescription. And that was while making other lifestyle changes. You know, it's ridiculous. But everyone agrees on that one. The branched chain amino acids, though, are the ones that people still argue over. Funny thing is, like, I got sued over that. I got sued over calling out branched chain amino acid research. For the unaware who didn't look at the legal documents, that was the primary reason I was sued, was the branched chain amino acids. It wasn't about the other stuff. The number one part, the primary case in the litigation, was about that research. And then it turns out years later that I was right, that all the research is garbage. All of it. All the old research. None of it works. Meta-analysis have come out and said branched chain amino acids do not help muscle growth. They do not improve recovery. They do not improve muscle protein synthesis, even on a low protein diet. So that excuse of, well, they might help, if it turns out that doesn't work. It only works if you add a full protein supplement or all the essential amino acids. That you can just mainline branched chain amino acids, and I do mean that. That was actually studied like through IV infusion. And it still didn't boost muscle protein synthesis at all. Zero. And this is what the meta-analysis have found. And look how big this product was pimped. And there are still people pushing it today. All these years later, I got sued over this stuff like 8 years ago for calling it out. Meta-analysis, multiple ones have now come out saying it doesn't work. All the evidence-based people have come out and said, oh yeah, it doesn't work, we don't promote it anymore, after they all made money on it, right? Yet you'll still see the con artists, some big names with 1 million+ followers, hey, I sell branched chain amino acids. It's still a successful scam, in spite of all of the clinical evidence saying this does not work. Those are your two biggest scams, guys, right there. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.